So, greetings. I'm Dr. Prasad, and this is Uncensored Guyana. Saturday, we're coming down to the end of the year. Today is the 25th of October in the year of the Pope, 2025. Well, what can I say? I am proud of the president. Matter of fact, let's all give the president, put your phone on speaker. If you're listening from your car, from your television, whatever device you have tuned in, and you're following the show, or you listen to the show later, or you are listening after the live will have been broadcasted or streamed, let's put our hands together for President Irfan Ali. Bravo, President, bravo. I'm proud of you. I thought you didn't have the balls to do it. I was wrong. I wasn't wrong. I guess you needed some poking, you needed a jump start. You needed to know that the people have your back. And since I, Dr. Prasad, represent the people, if I have your back, it means the people have your back. I represent the people. I have thousands of people behind me. Yeah, I can speak with that confidence. I can speak with that level of confidence because I know I have thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people behind me, following me. So if I have your back, Mr. President, and I'm talking about Irfan Ali, the people have your back. So I'm proud of you. You see, yesterday I thought you needed a push. So I had to push a bit in my broadcast yesterday. And after that, a few hours after that, the president came out and stood the way he should have been standing since the chancellor came back, days before. He said, no. My word is final. You went on leave, remember? I didn't send you on leave. The Judicial Service Commission did not send you on leave. It's not the end of the year where the judges go on their Christmas break. No, you chose to go on leave in August. Time accumulated, as they call it. That's not up to the judge. Your position warranted that you always be there. That's why you have the position you have, because you have to sacrifice a lot when you hold those positions. Apparently, you didn't want to. The typical woman, she needs a break, needs a leave. But the whole system can't be put on hold just because you decided to go on a 2 months break. It don't work like that. So bravo, Mr. President. The acting chancellor left on leave. You did what you had to do to replace her. But I guess she didn't get the message clear that if the president appointed somebody else, went through all the procedures, consulted with the lunatic fucking loser opposition we have, to say, hey, I'm going to appoint this other female in the position of the person who left on leave. All of that, a whole public charade for temporary 2 months? No. Her replacement was permanent. Permanent. The chancellor should have gotten the message. I think that's why the chancellor forced her way back in to test the waters, to see if this rumor is true that she doesn't have a job anymore. So she came back to see, okay, let's see who the bully is. It's my position. I come back to claim my seat. No, chancellor, it doesn't work like that. You of all persons should know how the Constitution works. You left, you were replaced, end the story. Now you have to go face a public humiliation and embarrassment for what? To test the waters, to test the strength of the president. The man is the executive president of the land, constitutionally elected by the majority of the Guyanese citizens that gave him the powers, the absolute power to hire and fire who the fuck he wishes to. But in this case, he didn't fire anybody. You left the job. He had to fill your space. And he appointed in the space that you left, which created another vacuum. He had to now shuffle his head around and get all the advisors and say, okay, who can we find to fill this position? Then he got the Indian guy, the judge, to fill that position. All of that, the man swore everybody in. End the subject. You can function now. For you to come back and want to disturb stuff? No. Like I said yesterday, the president's word is final. Final. The woman left, she should have stayed left. She should have stayed gone. Just forget about it. Just take it as a retirement. And my words came true. My words came true. Because after that, a few hours after that, then the president announced this person is gone on retirement. The other person who was there that he appointed would stay there and be the chancellor. And the chief justice would be the chief justice. Enough with the acting stuff. Make it permanent. So I'm proud of the president for that. Those are the things I like. I like tough guys, you know. You got to be tough. No fear. Rule with the iron fist. Yeah. If they call you a dictator, be a dictator within the law. A democratically elected dictator within the confines of the law and the Constitution. Dictate what needs to happen. That's what the president did. Dictate what needs to happen. Nobody should put you in embarrassment. You did the right thing. I am behind that. That's exactly what I would have done. Okay? Now I want that kind of forcefulness, macho, iron fist to transcend in every other sector. Every other sector of government. I need to see that strong man, President Ali, the one I saw yesterday. I need that to be consistent to every other area of the government. Fuck the opposition. The people didn't elect them. The people elected you, President Ali. The people elected you, not the opposition. You should have a constitutional mandate in case the opposition wants to bitch about, play a little bitch. You still have a backup plan. And your backup plan is in case the opposition, upon consultation with the opposition wants to bitch about, as the president, I can make executive decisions. Fuck the opposition. Don't put the system and government on hold because the opposition have issues with certain decisions. Fuck the opposition. Do unilaterally what you need to do as a president. I'm speaking in the capacity as me, that when I'm president, these are things I will do. Okay? I'll follow the law as far as it goes. But if you're going to compromise my government and my ability to serve the Guyanese people, then fuck you and your compromise. I am going to use my unilateral power as a president to get the job done. I ain't going to sit and wait until you decide to make your mind up. I consult. That's it. No Guyanese citizen. I also didn't see why the president needed to make contact with that loser fool, that asshole, that fool, Norton. President Ali, Norton was already on his way out. He was on retirement. Maybe he went to the bush to retire there amongst the trees and try to find his place amongst nature. You wake the guy up from his fantasy to make him feel like he's relevant and important, to consult with him about your decision yesterday. I wouldn't have done it. He's out. This is your chance to do your thing as president because there is no opposition to consult with. The elections are over. You're sworn in. There is no opposition. He lost. He's no longer the opposition leader. He don't need to be consulted with. He don't need to. There's no legal grounds on, on consulting with Norton. No legal grounds. He's out. You make the man felt important with his nonsense. Fuck, man. Anyway, it's done. Now, Guyanese. We have a bigger crisis to focus on. A bigger crisis that I, Dr. Prasad, have been against, and I'm still against it. The fact that President Ali had to compromise to consult a non-existent opposition, which is Norton, on this latest decision about this constitutionally appointed judges and stuff. I think he did that because if he had to procrastinate the confirmation of these two individuals in their respective positions as Chancellor and Chief Justice, if he had to put that off until after the whole charade and the Mickey Mouse circus of the opening of the parliament to swear in these lunatics from the Win Party and this jerk as the opposition leader, the president would have had to consult with Ajruddin Mohammed in his capacity as leader of the opposition in the parliament about these two appointments. Imagine the mighty Irfan Ali, the seasoned politician, the successful first-term president, now in his second term, the intellectual, the mathematician, the financial genius, the man who gets the job done. Imagine him having to pick up the phone or schedule a meeting where Ajruddin Mohammed, in his skinny jeans and oversized blazers, have to go into the office of the president with President Ali around some table with their representatives to discuss the nomination, confirmation of these two individuals for the Chief Justice and the Chancellor. Picture that. Picture that. Had he not performed, even though he didn't have to consult with Aubrey Norton, but had he not done that, and he's pressured to follow the law, then the next thing he had to do was to put off all those appointments, all the appointments he had to put off until the parliament convenes and the opposition leader is sworn in. Then he had to talk with that guy, Ajruddin Mohammed, the president whom I've just described, will have to consult with him. Imagine that. And if Ajruddin says, no, I am not in with these two choices, I would put up two people too. Imagine that. Who the fuck would Ajruddin put up to assume the position of Chief Justice and Chancellor? Who would he put up? Doggy and his brother-in-law or his sister? Who would Ajruddin recommend for the position? That's what would have happened. Now, that's a preview of things to come. If the parliament go ahead and convenes and the whole swearing-in process go ahead, that's what the president will have to deal with in the future. Every appointment that the Constitution requires consultation with the opposition, he will have to call Ajruddin. He will have to compromise, discuss, get into dialogue, meetings and meetings with Ajruddin Mohammed and his team. Others from the Win Party. That's what these fucking thugs, the scraps and the scrapes and the hungry belly fucking vagabonds, that's the position they put their country in by voting against their own organic party to appoint this lunatic, this sanctioned criminal to lead them. Now let's see what will come out of the things. I can bet you this. There will be no more important government appointments for the next 5 years. There'll be none. The people who are there in those positions acting, they'll be confirmed. They will be confirmed. Nobody will get promotion who has to be consulted with the opposition. It will stay like that until the next election. All because these stupid idiots put this lunatic in charge of the opposition. That's how it will be. The president will have to just run the country with the majority of his people in the parliament and his cabinet, and the majority of the Guyanese people who voted for him. That's how it will be. I like it like that. I want it to stay that way. You going in discussions with Azruddin Mohammed on what? On what? You got to discuss him. You got to discuss with him about legislations, about how to punish default taxpayers, how to punish drug lords and criminals and terrorists. You got to consult with him. What do you think he'll do? What do you think he will do? He will not support any of these legislations because he will be there to represent those kinds of people you want to punish. That's what the future will bring in Guyana as of 3rd or 4th of November this year. There is still time, President Ali, to change your mind. There is still time to say, because of circumstances, we cannot convene the parliament. You can change your mind. I'm telling you, I would not have done it. I would keep the parliament suspended until the next election. Because the Mohammeds is a danger. The whole team is a danger to the National Assembly and therein the Constitution and the democracy of Guyana. And if we don't look at how things are going, while he might be safe from being extradited because he holds a position of opposition leader and he gets some kind of legal protection and whatever it is, the people under him, the people around him, including his father, can very well leave the country to face justice in the United States. They can very well leave the country for that. And if they are gone, what do you think would happen to the opposition leader? He would be incapable of performing his duties because of being under stress and fear of what's coming his way. He will make every effort to sabotage the government. So people from the Win Party, you have to vote this man out. You have to vote out your leader. He may have started a party, but based on the party's constitution, you can vote him out. Say, hey, sorry, you have too many things hanging over your head. You can't hold this position. You'll be putting all of us at risk. Take one for the team. Go and deal with your issues. And we have this seat reserved. When you're done, you come back, you can fill it. You have to vote this man out. After all, you'll be getting money from the government, so you don't have to keep sliming to get his money. The money is sanctioned anyway. But you got to get rid of it. More so, this man is an agent of Maduro. Maduro's days are up. Nicolas Maduro is done. As a matter of fact, he has fled Venezuela. He has fled Venezuela. He's not in Venezuela. Maybe he's underground, but he's fled Venezuela. According to my sources, Nicolas Maduro is not in Venezuela because the CIA, the special forces operating under the authority of the CIA, they are underground in Venezuela looking for him. They're looking for Maduro. He's not in his own country because he realized that begging like a bitch the other day, no war, just peace, peace, no war, like a fucking loser, a little wimp, a wuss. Imagine this is the asshole, the giant pile of poop, who just a few months ago saying, Essequibo, Venezuela, Essequibo, fight Essequibo, Governor Essequibo. putting his troops on Guyana's territory to build bridge across some area there in Guyana, that border there, doing drills just off the borders of Guyana, sending his almost non-functional warships to threaten oil rigs operating within Guyana's waters, to threaten fishermen, to threaten people in the Guyana over on the Guyana side. Just some months ago, just a few months ago, last year, look at what he put that country through. Run to the ICJ, run to CARICOM, the Argyle Declaration. You make the Guyana government invest hundreds of thousands of dollars to deal with a threat that you had intended to deliver on, you fucking fool, Maduro. You put us through that nightmare. People like me had to use my time and platform to calm the Guyanese, to say, hey, don't worry, nothing will happen. We won't be attacked. Day in, day in. I had to do that. You put us through all of that. You made us believe that you are going to annex Essequibo, that you're going to bomb Guyana, you're going to overthrow the government. You made us go through all that, and now you fucking fool is coming out and talking about peace. Peace? You're shitting your pants now? No war, and you were just about to declare war on a country that couldn't defend itself. One of your towns in Venezuela has more people than the whole country, Guyana. And you wanted to bully that country. You wanted to take 1/3 of that country and force the rest of us to live in a small piece. You, Maduro, just a few months ago. And now you want the world to side with you? You want the CARICOM that you defied? You want the ICJ that you defied the order to help you, to save your ass? Because you want to stay president, to stay looting your own country and paying your cronies and your friends? Because of that, people must now be sympathetic with you. No, it's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. Maduro and all the people around you, all you fuckers would be jailed. If you're not dead, you'll be jailed. You and your cabinet. And all them corrupt military generals that you have, they will also face it. You're not the only one going. No, the Americans are not just going to take you and leave the rest. The whole team, all your wealth, all your stolen wealth, all your stolen everything they're going to take. You, your wife, your kids, your brother, everybody will face the blunt of the law. Your best bet, Maduro, you're bad. You were bad to Guyana. You're the bad boy. You're the bad boy, yeah. And all them Venezuelans who voted in your mock elections to annex Essequibo, all them Venezuelans who voted for a governor of Essequibo, I hope they are the casualties of the war. I hope they are the casualties of the fucking war, because they were prepared to fight and kill Guyanese on your order for Essequibo. So I have no mercy or sympathy for them. The Americans can bomb everybody for all I care. My thing is, and Guyanese must understand, just a few months ago, these same Venezuelans who were begging for peace, who were begging the American president, oh, we don't want war, they were ready and available to invade Guyana and kill Guyanese. Think about it. Just a few months ago. Had it not been for Donald Trump, the man that a lot of you hate, had it not been for him and his foreign policy, his war on drugs, his war against corruption, his war against smuggling and illegal businesses, had it not been for that, if it was Joe Biden, Maduro would have invaded Guyana. If the Democrats were in power in America, Maduro would have already annexed Essequibo. And thousands of Guyanese would have been killed, obliterated. The Guyana military would have been fucked up. No match if it wasn't for Trump. So while you are talking your talk and whatever it is, you better thank Donald Trump. That now you see the pussy Maduro is. All the big talking, all the threats against Guyana. Now you see the kitten he is. Begging for peace. Oh, no war, peace, peace, just peace, just peace. You fucking idiot. And you wanted to kill Guyanese just a few months ago. Go fuck yourself, man. Look, Trump, you're taking too long to do this job. President Trump, you're taking too long to get this thing over with. I'm running out of patience. I want this done before Christmas. I want this done before Christmas. Okay? Get Maduro, finish him off before Christmas. And I think you're going to do a total job. I don't think it's just him. I think you're going for the whole team because right now, the biggest naval carrier that carries all these planes and these fighter stuff, the biggest one is on the coast of Venezuela. Gerald Ford, the ship. It's right now in Venezuela's waters. The military is on the ground in Venezuela right now. They're moving in. They mean business. You gotta go, you gotta go. But for me, just do like Bush. Drop a bomb at the president's palace in Venezuela, Caracas. Just send one of those bombers that you sent to Iran the other day and bomb the nuclear facility. Send one in Venezuela and just bomb the fuck out of them. End the story. Then you can save a lot of lives. Just take Maduro and his camp out. Don't go and looking for them and wasting gas and wasting time. Just drop a bomb and that's it. Done with it. But the war started. What I'm getting at here, it started. Okay? That's why Maduro left. That's why he ran away. He ran like a little bitch. He's not in the country. If he's in Colombia, if the Colombian president, that little gay president in Colombia, if that guy do the dumb thing and say he's going to house Maduro, then they'll get him too. Because the amount of military buildup in the Caribbean Sea right now, they have enough firepower there to take out Venezuela, Colombia, and the other one next to them. All three countries, they can take it out one time. So if Colombia wants to do the stupid thing, all that big mouth that they have, to say they're going to give grant safe passage to Maduro, they're going to go in Colombia and get him. Innocent people will die in the process. So my thing would be to Colombia, send him back. Send him back. Say, hey, no, sorry, we're friends, but I can't put my nation at risk for you. Go back and surrender. Surrender on camera so the Americans can't kill you. Let the cameras be there so the world would see that this man is surrendering voluntarily. They can't shoot you in cold blood, but if you keep hiding and running and yeah, you know the reason why he gone to Colombia, because he can't fly. They're going to bomb the plane out of the sky. He can't fly. He can't get away by plane. He can't get away by boat. He has to go via the trail. Because if he goes by plane, they'll know and they'll bomb the plane out the air. If he goes by boat, they're going to bomb the boat out of the sea. So he has to go by trail. But right now, he's not in Venezuela. Because the Americans are there. If he was there, they would have gotten him already. And to the Venezuelan people, because I have a lot of them watching me, they usually comment and share my stuff on their pro Maduro page and whatever, whatever, whatever. To the Venezuelan people, I would say this: to any country, don't put your neck on the line for politicians. Don't do it. Don't sacrifice your life or your family or your country for politicians. Don't do it. Give them up. Give up the politicians that are putting your country at risk. You can do without them. Who says Maduro is the only one who can run Venezuela? Who says that? God said that? Then if God said that, God will protect him, right? You don't have to protect him. God will protect him. God will strike the Americans and make them not invade Venezuela if God appointed him. Don't sacrifice yourself for this man or his regime. Give him up. Get rid of him. He's a pest. Turn your backs on him. Don't go out and fight the Americans. You'll lose. Your husbands and your sons will die on the battlefield. The Americans wouldn't die. Your children will die. So my advice to you is stay the fuck home. If you see all these American warships and tanks and vehicles rolling through the streets of Caracas, stay in your house. It's not your fight. Look at how you're struggling. Look at how you're punishing. Look at how you're dying out because of the sanctions, because of the illegal government, because of what Maduro has put your country through. You're gonna die for him, and he will still die anyway. Think about your own safety, your security, and your well-being first. The government is corrupt. Fuck them. Let the Americans go get them. Don't sacrifice for them. Politicians are like diapers, baby diapers. You know, every few hours you have to change it. You know why? They're full of shit. You got to keep changing them. Don't sacrifice your life for those people. So enough with the Venezuela case there. Now to Guyana. President Irfan Ali, the Guyanese trusted you in the first term. They saw that you made an effort, you did your best, and they're seeing the fruits. They're seeing the fruits. They're not feeling it, they're seeing it. With all the infrastructure, the roads, and all these kinds of things, and all their talking points and all that, yeah, they're seeing. They're not feeling it. They're seeing. Now, you have a lot of people in your camp, President Ali, that if it's up to the country, when I say the country, your voters, if it is up to your voters, more specifically, the Indo-Guyanese, if it's up to them, they don't want to see those people in your cabinet or in your government, because those people are toxic, corrupt, confused, lying, deceitful, toxic politicians. And the Guyanese people can do better without them. Now, while you are tough on a lot of stuff, President Ali, you need to be tough when it comes to the people that work for you. Because they don't work for the Guyanese people, they work for you. You hire them. The voters that voted for you didn't vote for them. I'm talking about members in your cabinet, on your team. The Guyanese didn't vote for them. Don't get it twisted. The Guyanese voted for President Irfan Ali. Not even Vice President Jagdeo. The Guyanese didn't vote for him. They voted for Ali. They gave Ali the power, the mandate to deliver a clean, uncorrupted government. But you can't deliver that, sir, if you keep recycling the same corrupt people. You can't deliver that. Now, we have a lot of issues with who get contracts, who don't get contracts, how things are distributed, who get access to land, who get access to financing, and all these kinds of stuff. There's so many background stories to all that. You may not know everything, President Ali, but you need to listen when people are talking. Pay attention to the critics. Pay attention to what the people are saying, not the opposition. Your people are saying. Because your people, I want to reiterate, voted for President Ali. They didn't vote for Anil Nandalal. They didn't vote for Priya Manik Chan. They didn't vote for none of these people. They voted for President Irfan Ali. In other words, your voters, your base, can do without these other people. If none of these people are on your team, you think Guyana is ended? You think it's the end of it? Oh, Guyanese would do better without them. They don't want these people around. They're like, fuck it. Oh, okay. You see, like we have the chancellor that left. Who is crying? Which Guyanese is in tears that she has had to retire? All the people who had to leave for whatever reason. Who is crying for them? Nobody. Because they would not be missed. But you, sir, would be missed. Therefore, since you may not have a third term, make the people enjoy this second term that you have. So when the elections come again, people will miss you. Oh my gosh, why couldn't we have gotten President Ali for a third term? Oh my God, yes. But if from the beginning of the second term is just fucking corruption, people would just go to bed and don't want to wake up until 2029. So they can go vote and just this time, you know what? We're done. But you have to deliver services so that people want to get up every day, because they're getting up every day to live in a country that they enjoy. You have to be the tough man like you were yesterday, sir, and deal with these people who have made you look, who keep making you look bad. I don't care who they are. This is why they've always said it. Campaign financing. Who sponsors your campaign? They're the ones you have to turn a blind eye to with their corruption and their crimes. Who sponsors your campaign? Not just Guyana, many countries they have the problem. But in Europe, that shit don't happen. Public funding funds campaign, not private funding, not private donors. Because private donors always have an agenda. But when you have in Guyana's politics, businessmen, might be contractors, might be whatever they're doing, are pouring hundreds of millions of Guyanese dollars into campaign funding before elections. And the party that they're funding wins the election. Who do you think the president serves? The people that vote for him? Of course not. If I donate 50 million, if I'm a contractor, I have a firm, I build roads, I do everything. The first thing I will do is get close to key people within a political party, key people. And if I know that this party has a chance to win an election, I'm going to get to the candidates who I know would be in key ministries and say, hey, I want you to invest in my company. Have some shares in the company. 10%, 20%. I'm going to get politicians to have shares in my company. That directly ties them to that company. So if that political party wins the election, I have two evils. One, I donated 50 million to your campaign. You have a budget to build roads, housing, and all these developments across the country. My company can do everything. So what happens? The Minister of Finance has shares in my company. The President, as an individual, has shares in my company. The Minister of Public Works has shares in my company. The minister who's responsible for procurement and things like that has shares. So I have like 6 ministers who has shares in my company, and relatives that are connected to these ministers are on my board. So we have a tender for $50 billion project. $50 billion. Who do you think would be awarded the contract? Some small man who never donated to the party? Even if that small man has a big company, he's just a legitimate professional businessman. He tender like everybody else. But I have direct investment in the party. I gave you 50 million. Now it's time to pay me back. Of course, I will be the first person to get the $50 billion contract. Because from the $50 billion contract, the cost of the contract is only 20 billion. That's the expense. Remember, I already donated 50 million. So in my invoice, that 50 million donation I made to the party was quadrupled. So I added the 50 plus 10 times more. And my payback for my 50 million is 500 million. That's my pocket piece. 500 million. I gave them 50, they gave me 500 million back under the guise of a contract. Now, the 25 billion, that is now distributed to all the persons who have shares in my company, the 6 ministers. Each one of them get $1 billion. That's 6 billion. They're good. I still make about 20 billion. 20 billion, I still make that. That's my profit. 20 billion. That's just one contract. I can't be investigated for that. My company is legitimate. All the stuff I do is legitimate. I'm doing government contracts. I build the roads. I deliver on everything I said I should be deliver on, everything I did. The whole tender stuff is public. All the expenses are there, public. So nobody can point a finger. I'm a legitimate businessman. What is my point in that? Is that the businessman, I refer to myself, the businessman who would have donated that money, that's the only contribution I've made towards the election of the president, gave the party money. If the party had lost, how would I be repaid? I'll have to wait until the party wins at another 5 years, hopefully. then of course I'll be compensated. But it's a gamble. But that's all I did. And the hard work to get the party to win the election, the hard work of propaganda, the hard work of canvassing, the hard work of evangelizing the people to vote for the party, that was up to the people like me who used our platform to convince people, to seduce people, to program people to vote the party into office. For who to benefit? The businessmen who put the money to get the party to hold these big rallies and things like that, they're the ones who benefited. They benefited. While the rest of the people who did the hard work still have to continue living a hard life. While the politicians that did not get the approval of the people continue to earn from these businesses under the table, continue to grant access to government contracts, government land, not government land, because the fucking land is not the government, public land, and all these things, only the selected few that are connected by money and friendship and relatives continue to benefit massively, while the rest of the voting population of the PPP are struggling. Mr. President, I'm going to resurrect something I said last year. None of these businessmen, none of these lame ministers, none of these officials that you appointed, they did not make you president. They did not make you president. President Irfan Ali, you're hanging with the wrong crowd. Yes, you get the power already, fine. Fine, you get the power already, but this could be bad for the PPP in the next election. The crowd you should be hanging with is the crowd who put you there a second time. The people who matters are the people who voted for you, not your crew. They voted for you. All the stuff that we are seeing in the public's eye, only a few people are benefiting from that. Only a few people. The people who need to benefit are the people who voted for you. Yes, you have to serve all Guyana, but all Guyana did not make you president. The Indians of Guyana made you president, not all Guyana. And they should be a priority when it comes to government services. They should be a priority. The land should not be given only to a select few. And the select few that gets the land, they always ask for land to do agriculture. But before you know it, they're making it in the housing schemes and selling it for exorbitant prices. If the people who put you there forever has issues with land access, has issues with medical care and all these things, their matters, right? Their needs matter. Their lives matter. They're crying out. And let me pause here. Let me digress for that matter. A lot of the blacks in Guyana, you think that the Indians are rich? The poorest people in Guyana are the Indians. The poorest. Don't get it twisted because you think that there are a lot of rich Indians. No, they don't represent the majority. They represent the 1% that surround themselves with the government. They're politicians. Yes, the Indians are the richest, but they are politicians. They're like political rich. They have access. They have access. So That's where the wealth stays. But 80% of the Indians in Guyana are the poor ones, struggling. That's why the men drink alcohol every day. That's why they abuse their wives, because they don't know what else to do. Who else to turn to? They can't turn to the blacks because the PNC punished them all their lives. The party that they supported and expect to at least give them a break from poverty. The only thing they see is that people who look like them Indians, but these Indians who look like them, they have a legacy of always benefiting. Always benefiting. So it seemed like the PPP is taking care of Indians. No, they're not. They're not taking care of Indians. They're taking care of the Indians that you keep seeing. But they don't represent the majority. They're like 5,000. 5,000 Indians that you might see that are billionaire and millionaires, but they're all a part of the school of the PPP hierarchy. That's where they are. But the people who voted, the rest of the 200,000 plus, are the ones who continue to cry out. They're struggling. They can't pay their bills. They can't feed their families. They're frustrated. They have no other means to exist. They can't leave the country because where else would they go? They are struggling. Their family have to send money for them every day from the rest of the other countries. They're leaving the country because the party that they believe in and they stood behind keeps neglecting them. They know from experience that the PNC never cares about Indians, never cares about Indians. They know that. The PNC don't even care about the black people. But the party that the Indians somehow embrace that, hey, we will have some kind of, breakaway with these here. It's not happening. It's not happening. You can make whatever fucking excuse you want to make. But other people are getting things done within a week, within days. They're getting documents. They're getting insurance fixed. They're getting passport. They're getting land access within weeks. While the people who were there since with Chetty, they can't get land. Some are still waiting for pension. They have issues with health care. They have issues with job security. All these things are happening, coupled with the fact that they have to abandon their land because they can't afford to farm. They can't pay bank loans because they have no source to cultivate their land and make a profit from it. Then they had lands confiscated, land stolen. This politician came in and take their land. That politician covered their land under the PPP. What I'm tired of is whenever it's convenient, politicians come online or on television or whatever it is, and they make these excuses. They lie about this and lie about that, and oh, the PNC did this. Yes, we all know what the fuck the PNC did. We know that. Don't remind us every day of what they did. We know that. That's why we voted for the PPP in 2020 and again in 2025. Don't keep bringing up the PNC stuff. We know what they did. You are here now to change that. To change that. Don't keep distracting the people with all kinds of projects. 20 billion for this and 20 billion for that. Yes. How does that ripple down towards the average person? How do they benefit from that? How? 50 billion for roads. Good. So people can buy cars and drive on the roads. Yes. But how does that investment affect the average person who's struggling, who can't even afford to buy a car? How does that affect him? It doesn't affect him. Because that contract goes to businessmen. And those businessmen, of course, have to funnel parts of the contract and the payment to politicians. And those politicians are secured for life, them and their grandchildren and the great-grandchildren. However it is, the people still don't benefit. They don't. People want real change. Real change. The government is not there to keep building every month. Because the other thing that I have a problem with, while all these projects are there and you're building and building and building, the people must understand. I want the people to have a breakdown as to how much loans the country took to build all the roads, including the bridge, and everything for the past 5 years. How much loans the country secured to do all the projects that was done. How much hundreds of millions or hundreds of billions Guyana secured by loans to get all the things that was done. If we are talking about a figure of 100 billion, that's 100 billion in loans that went towards building stuff. Means it went toward contracting firms that built the stuff. It didn't went towards the people. It went towards businessmen, contractors who build stuff. They benefited. But the loans must be repaid. And who would pay the loan back? The contractors? The ministers of the government? The PPPC would pay the loan back? No. The Guyanese taxpayers that Azrin Mohammed has robbed, and many other businessmen that are not paying taxes, many other businessmen and so-called contractors that are getting tax exemptions, they together are robbing the Guyanese citizens of the taxes. So they have to have continued inflation, prices going up, because that's where the tax comes. That's where it's exempt from. Not exempt, it's extracted from. Goods and services. The loans is what puts a heavy burden on the people for generations to come. While the politicians are securing their future by accepting bribes, under the table payment to settle deals and contracts for Chinese firms, firms from India, some Russian firms, while these government officials are getting a drawback when they give out contracts to these people, it's the Guyanese citizens who have to pay that loan. And you don't pay that loan in 5 years. That loan can be there for 20, 30, 50, or 100 years. So this generation, the next generation, and the next generation has to pay these loans. So when another government comes, that doesn't mean the loans will not be paid. It has to be paid. If not, the banks that lends the money to Guyana is going to secure the services of the CIA. And the CIA will do to Guyana what they always do to countries who default on their loans and they ain't paying. Bomb the hell out of them. That's the reality. So I want President Ali to be tough. Tough as in serve the people, not politicians. Don't serve businessmen, don't serve politicians. Tone down on the loans. Tone down on it. Development is good. It's wonderful. But every contract, every project is not paid for by the money from the state. It's paid for by loans. Loans. Build as we can afford. The money comes in from the oil and other stuff, save it. When the money reaches a certain level, Okay, we can budget now to do this project. Let the country pay for its own development. But if you keep taking loans and loans and loans and loans to do everything, then what happened to the money we're making from these other sectors? What happened to that? Who is getting that? Until next time, have a good one.